Hey, and welcome to episode 20 of Dragon Age Origins. Last time we left off, we got Shell over here. As you can see, Shell is not a dwarf, nor elf, or human, it's a golem. And we got her from Hunlif, or it. I don't know her gender exactly, or their gender. But last time we left off, we talked with her a bit just to see what she's like or what they're like. Because we talked with everyone, but we haven't talked with her yet. And so we are back at camp, and I was planning on talking with the rest of the party members, see if we can buy anything else perhaps at Bodan. And then I was planning on going to Haven to find the urn because Brother Genitivi's research suggests that the village of Haven in the mountains to the west might have some clues as to the location of the urn, and Brother Genitivi must have gone to a Haven to continue his search. But before we do that, I want to go over some of the codexes. So we have some here for creatures. We have quite a lot actually. So we have Arcane Horror. Upon ascending to the second floor of the tower, we were greeted by a gruesome sight. A ragged collection of bones wearing the robes of one of the senior enchanters. I had known her for years, watched her raise countless apprentices, and now she was a mere puppet for some demon. Transcribed from a tale told by a Templar in Antifa City 713 Storm. Demons, of course, have no form in our world. When they enter, either where the veil is particularly thin or through blood magic summoning, they must take possession of a body. When a pride demon takes control of a corpse of a mage, an arcane horror is born. Although they appear to be little more than bones, these are fierce creatures possessing not only all the spellcasting abilities of a living mage, but also the capacity to heal and even command other animated corpses. I believe it's the tall, uh, demons that we come across. And then we also have the Ash Wraith, which we came across in Hunlif. So it says legend has that when Andraste's ashes were taken into hiding, some of her closest disciples gave themselves to the fire, that their restless souls might remain to guard her final resting place forever. Whether they are the spirits of Andraste's disciples or merely fate spirits, the Templars that house the sacred urn is filled with wraiths. Created from a burned corpse, an ash wraith is a powerful and enormous opponent, able to lash and smother while being immune to most physical attacks. Even if successfully dispersed, it can reform at a later time. Magic is the only real way to fight such a creature, wind and ice attacks being the most useful. They are capable of creating small whirlwinds that are devastating to anyone unfortunate enough to get close, and their touch leaves a person drained. So they drain the life out of someone if they touch them? Yikes. Then we also have a corpse. To anyone who doubt the wickedness of blood magic, I say, with your own hands, strike down the corpses of your own brothers who have fallen in battle to the Maleficar. Then we may discuss morality. Knight Commander Benedictus, in a letter to the Divine 546, exulted. The walking dead are not, as the superstitious are wont to believe, the living come back for revenge. They are rather corpses possessed by demons. The shambling corpse controlled by a demon of sloth causes its enemies to become weak and fatigued. Corpses possessed by rage demons go berserk and simply wade into their opponents mindlessly. Devouring corpses are held by hunger demons and feed upon the living. The more powerful demons rarely deign to possess a dead host. We also have the Sire demons, which is the one that was possessing Connor, and the cat in Hunlif. In all my studies, I must say that the most intriguing was my interview with the Desire demon. That the creature was willing to speak with me was a sign that this was no mere monster mindlessly driven by its nature, but rather a rational being as interested as me as I was in it. It took a form that I would call female, though I had no doubt that it could appear otherwise. I wonder if it appeared as it did because I wanted it to, or because I expected it to. She, and indeed I could only think of her as such now, smiled warmly at me, and laughed a musical sound that seemed to thrill my old heart. So frightened was I of his creature's legendary abilities to twist the hearts of men, and relieved was I when I looked across the table in her dark eyes. This was a fearsome creature of the fate, but as I spoke with her, I slowly came to realize that this demon was merely as misunderstood as we mages are ourselves. From the journal of former senior enchanter Melius, once of the circle of Rivain, declared apostate in 920 Dragon. Of all the threats from beyond the veil, few are more insidious and deceptively deadly than the desire demon. In folklore, such demons are categorized as peddlers of lust, luring the prey into a sexual encounter only to be slain at the culmination. While a desire demon can indeed deal in pleasure, in truth they deal with any manner of desire that humans can possess: wealth, power, and beauty, to name a few. Far more intelligent than bestial hunger and rage demons, and more ambitious than the demons of sloth, these dark spirits are among the most skilled at tempting mages into possession. Many who serve the whims of a desire demon never realize it. They are manipulated by illusion and deceit, if not outright mind control, although these demons are reluctant to resort to such crude measures. Instead, they seem to take great pleasure in corruption. The greater the deceit, the greater their victory. Only demons of pride prove more fearsome opponents when roused. Their abilities to affect the mind allow them to assume disguises and even alter the environment to their purposes, not to mention the great strength and speed they possess if they should have to resort to more physical means. Most often, a desire demon will attempt to bargain its way to freedom. If overpowered, many stories exist that depict mages defeating desire demons to the point where a wish can be wrest from them. It should be noted that in such stories, the demon almost always gets the upper hand even when the mage thinks his wish has been granted. So it sounds like, compared to all of the other demons, the Desire one is very, like, more intelligent. Besides the Desire demon, it sounds like the Pride demon is even more intelligent than the Desire demon. So I'm very curious what the Pride demon would be, what they would be like compared to a Desire demon. Because a Desire demon sometimes almost looks like human, in the way that they talk, compared to all of the other demons that we encountered. And then we also have dragon. We have dragonins. Newly hatched dragons are roughly the size of a deer and voraciously hungry. They live for a short time in their mother's lair before venturing out on their own. The slender, wingless creatures are born in vast numbers, as only a few ever to make it to adulthood. I believe we found these in the tower. Then we also have golem. Once a crucial part of Orsimar's defenses, golems have all but vanished, as the secret to their manufacture was lost over 1,000 years ago. What few golems remained are guarded closely by the Shepherd, brought out when the battle with the Darkspawn grows desperate enough to risk their loss. No one now would sell a golem for any price, but in the ancient times dwarves sold many golems to the magister lords of the winter. They are devastating weapons in war, living siege engines capable of hurling boulders like a catapult or plowing through enemy lines like an earthquake. And then we also have Pride Demon. And it says, let me explain what it is to face a pride demon, my friends. You may scoff and say that our talents exist only to face mages, but you will encounter demons often. They will be summoned by a Maleficar and bound to do his bidding. And while at times they will be forced into possession of a host, they will also face you in their true form. A powerful opponent indeed, do not underestimate it. Pride is a powerful and intelligent. When we have encountered one of its true form, its most common attacks are bolts of fire and ice. Fire they will use to burn an opponent, and the magical flame will combust anything you wear regardless of make. Ice they will use to freeze an opponent in place. Be cautious, for they enjoy employing this against warriors in particular. More than one group of Templars has made the mistake of attempting to overwhelm a pride demon and suffered the consequences. Believe me. And if you think that having the aid of other mages will assist you, you are wrong. Pride demons can render themselves immune to magic for short times and are adept at dispelling magic that is cast upon you, as much as we Templars are able to disrupt spells. Think on that for a moment, my friend. Be wary of how prideful you become, lest you find too much in common with such a fiend. Transcript of a lecture given by Farron, Templar Commander of Tentor Vale. 686 steel. So it looks like the Pride Demons have like special attacks against different opponents. So like they like to immediately put ice spells on warriors, and then like different attacks I imagine for rogues and mages. And then we also have the Rage Demon. Encountered in the Fate, the true form of a Rage Demon is a frightening sight. A thing of pure fire, its body seemingly made of amorphous lava, and its eyes two pinpricks of baleful light radiating from its core. The abilities of such a demon center on the fire it generates. It burns those who come near, and the most powerful of its kinds are able to lash out with bolts of fire and even firestorms that can affect entire areas. Fortunately, even powerful rage demons are less intelligent than most other varieties. Their tactics are simple: attack an enemy on sight with as much force as possible until it perishes. Some rage demons carry over their heat-based abilities into possessed hosts, but otherwise the true form is mostly seen outside of the Fate when it's specifically summoned by a mage to do his bidding. And then we also have a rat. What are you, mad? Even the most giant of rats isn't going to present that much of a problem to anyone larger than a cat. Even the stories in the archives that tell of blight-touched rats still only attributed them with the ability to spread the plague. The rats themselves got no larger than perhaps 3 feet in length, covered in sharpy bony spikes and boils. Disturbing certainly, but dangerous. This is no fantasy conjured by a madman, young man. You have much more important creatures to concern yourself with. Transcript of a lecture given by Nalia, Senior Enchanter of Habsburg, 844 Blessed. Note: she was later eaten by a blight rat in 846 Blessed. Yikes. And then we also have the Revenant. An entire unit of men all slain by one creature. I didn't believe it at first, your perfection, but it appears that this is so. We have a survivor, and while at first I thought his rentings pure exaggerating, it appears to be no simple skeleton. The descriptions of the creature's ability were eerily similar to those our brothers at Marnespel encountered almost a century ago. Men pulled through the air to skewer themselves on the creature's blade, an attack so quick that it was able to assault multiple opponents at once. Know your perfection. What we have here is indeed a revenant and nothing less. From a letter to the divine Amara III, 571 Exalted. A revenant is a corpse possessed by a demon of pride or of desire, making it amongst the most powerful possessed opponents that one can face. Many possess spells, but most are armed and armored and preferred to use of their martial talents. They are weak against physical attacks, but regenerate quickly and commonly use telekinesis to pull opponents into melee range. Should they try to flee, Revenants also have the ability to strike multiple opponents surrounding them, stay at range if possible, and strike quickly. This is the only way to take such a creature down. So I see, so it looks like the corpses that are possessed are mostly like hunger demons, but when it comes to Revenants, there are corpses that are possessed by pride and desire demons. I believe we came across a Revenant in the tower as well. And then we have Skeleton. The demons of the Fate are jealous of the living beings they send from across the veil. They constantly push against the boundaries of the Fate, and when they finally cross over, they attempt to possess the first living creature they see. They are unable, however, to distinguish that which was once living from which still is. In fact, a corpse provides an even more tempting target to a weaker demon, and it has no will with which to resist the possession. The demon cannot rationalize why this is so. It only sees a target and grasps at the opportunity. A skeleton is exactly that, a corpse animated by a possessing demon. Upon finding itself trapped within a body that cannot sustain it, the demon is driven insane. It seems to destroy any life that it encounters, attacking without thought to its own welfare. The exact names given to the skeletons of this type vary according to the nature of the demon that possesses it. A fanged skeleton is a skeleton possessed by a hunger demon. These skeletons devour whatever life they encounter and often possess the ability to drain life energy and mana from their victims. A shambling skeleton is a slower moving skeleton possessed by a sloth demon, able to bring entropic powers against its opponents, slowing them and putting them to sleep. More powerful demons have been known to command skeletons, but at that level they are known by other names, Revenants and Arcane Horrors, to name two. And then we also have Sloth Demon. And that's the one that we encountered as well in the tower that put us into the Fate on different islands. And I looked at the creature and had it become me. A veritable copy of my form, of my very mind, stared back at me as if from within a mirror. I thought surely that this was a trick, an illusion meant to put me off guard. But as I engaged the thing with my sword, it fought me with maneuvers that I recognized. It parried as I parried. It swung as I swung. It spoke to me and said things that only I could know. I think this demon of sloth has no form of identity of its own. It is envy as much as sloth, I believe, and mine was not the first shape it stole that though. An excerpt from a transcribed position of Tyrannus, Templar commander of Cumberland 390 Towers. The most difficult assumption for some who study demons to overcome is the notion that a sloth demon is in and of itself slothful. If that were so, it seems highly unlikely that any such demon will cross the veil into our own world, or once here would fight to possess any creature with a will of its own, and we know both of these things to not be the case. Certainly some demons are lazy and complacent, but who knows, perhaps these creatures even cultivate such reputation. The truth is that demons of sloth are named because this is the portion of the human psyche that they feed upon: doubt, apathy, entropy. They seek to spread these things. The sloth demon hides in its form and a master of shapes and disguises, always in the last place you look, and from its hiding place it spreads its influence. A community afflicted by a demon of sloth could soon become a dilapidated pit where injustices are allowed to pass without comment, and none of the residents could be aware that such a chance has even taken place. The sloth demon weakens, tears at the edges of consciousness, and would much rather render its victim helpless than enrage in a true conflict. Such creatures are best faced only with a great deal of will, and only with an eye to piercing their many disguises. And then we also have a wisp. A great deal is made of the most powerful demons, those that create abominations, and those that have changed the history of Thedas. It is often forgotten that not all demons are such awe-inspiring beings. Some that break through the cracks in the veil into our world are known as wisp, a sliver of a thought that once was. A wisp is a demon that has lost its power. Either it has existed in our world for too long without finding a true host, or it has been destroyed often. So we found by other demons what remains of its mind clings tightly to the one concept that created it, a hatred of all things living. While its ability to target a living creature is limited, these whips often mindlessly attack when encountered in the Fae. In the living world, they often have been known to maliciously lure the living into dangerous areas, being mistaken for lanterns or other civilized light sources. This does, however, seem to be the very limit of their cunning. From the journal of a former senior enchanter Melius, one of the Circle of Ravane declared apostate a 920 dragon. And then we have the Mabari dominants. Mabari hounds are descended from pack hunters, and like their ancestors, they are highly influenced by a defined order of dominance. The primary method of determining that order is by claiming territory through scent marking major landmarks. Once established, the dominant Mabari gains a substantial increase in confidence and stature within his territory, a trait that indirectly benefits masters as well as hounds. And I believe that's what Malachite, or that's what we are doing with Malachite. And that's it for now then for the codexes. So let's speak some with the companions here.
Yes.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
Never mind.
Then I suggest we move on.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Never mind.
Very well.
So it looks like we don't
As
have
you
really
wish.
anything to say with Stan. Perhaps if we give him more gifts, maybe then we could have more conversations with him. He wags his tail happily. Let's pet him. No. Okay, I believe we already talked with Alistair in the last episode, so let's talk with Severin.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
You never killed an innocent?
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with what he's saying. I'm not sure if I should say this or 4. Perhaps I could do this. That's a very practical attitude.
Death happens, as we like to say, and when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
I take no pleasure in killing.
It is not pleasure per se, nothing sexual. It is more a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of power. Does that make sense? No matter. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Why not? You can do whatever you like.
Whereas I am content merely doing what I happen to be good at. It's a talent that not many come by honestly. I don't see why I need not pursue it. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Looks like that was it, I think.
Here I am.
Can you teach artists to be an assassin?
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
You don't think this is important?
You need to learn the arts of the crows in order to slay darkspawn, do you? You seem to be doing fine as it is. If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows?
Let's go talk with Liliana.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
Never mind. Looks like that is it. What about Win?
Is there something you need?
I'd like to ask you about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
It looks like that is it as well. What about Morrigan? Highly doubt she'll have anything else to say. Here we go.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask.
If you must.
I think I did that already.
What do you wish of me?
And then this.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Never mind. Okay, let's go to Bodan, see if he has anything for us.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
Let me see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Okay. So it doesn't look like there's any more health poultices, but that's okay. Perhaps we could make it ourselves or like get a recipe somewhere. There we go. Okay, so let's head out then to go to Haven. Here we go. Venture forth, yes. Who shall we bring? That's the question. I think I'll go with Alistair, Shale, and Maybe either Morrigan or Win. I think I'll go with Win.
Yes.
There we go. And we can go to Haven. Here we are, the village of Haven. Got a new area unlocked because of it. There's a death root here. Can take that. Oh, and there's a guard here as well.
What are you doing in Haven? There's nothing for you here.
So this is Haven.
What do you want?
Is there a Brother Genitivi here?
Who? Perhaps revered Father Eirik will know of whom you speak. Unfortunately, he's ministering to the villagers at the moment and cannot be disturbed.
A revered father, huh? That's new. I wonder what this means.
It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition.
Are your traditions very different from ours?
Our ways are not the ways of the lowland cities.
Have you heard of the Urn of Sacred Ashes?
The urn is nothing but a legend.
Brother Genitivi's research suggests that it may be more.
I do not know who Brother Genitivi is or what he says. However, I'm sure people can convince themselves of anything.
Why do you have a revered father? Priests are women.
It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition.
I would like to explore Haven for a while.
We do not appreciate lowlanders looking about our home as though it was some sort of zoo.
I have some questions about Haven.
Ask and be on your way.
How long has Haven been here?
Haven's always been here. My family knows no other home.
Who is in charge of the village?
Father Eirik is our spiritual leader and guide. He's in the chantry giving a sermon. You should not disturb him.
Why haven't I heard of Haven before?
We keep to ourselves. We see no need to announce our presence to the world. It's more peaceful that way.
I don't need to know anything else about Haven.
Then perhaps you should return to the lowlands.
Very well, excuse
You
me.
may trade for supplies at the shop if you wish. Then I suggest you and your companions leave.
Did it just get a lot colder, or is it just me?
I'm not sure, I cannot feel the temperature. There's some death fruit here, we can get that. Nice. So we can go in here, it looks like. It's a villager's house. There's a child here with a chicken.
Bonnie Lynn, tell us where you've been. Were you up, were you down? Chasing rabbits round the town. Come, Bonnie Lynn, tell us where you've been. Come, Bonnie Lynn, we've a bed to put you in. It is soft, it is warm, it will shelter from the storm. Come, Bonnie Lynn, we've a bed to put you in. Dear Bonnie Lynn, sleeps the peaceful crib within. A mossy stone, a finger bone, no one knows but Lynn alone. Dear Bonnie Lynn, sleeps the peaceful crib within.
That's not creepy at all. Let's go check out this house here. Here we go. Is there anything here? There's a chest. I just don't have enough skill for that. And we don't have a rogue here either. But we can open this up. This altar appears to have been used recently. A pool of blood remains running over the sides in dark rivulets. Let's continue.
Used for food preparation, perhaps?
Does meat bleed that much?
I'm just trying to be optimistic. The other explanation is slightly more disturbing.
Oh, Malachi, don't do that. He licks the altar. Don't do that. Oh, I'm sorry. He's whimpering.
This village is not quite what it seems, is it?
It really isn't. Ooh, we got a coin here, but we lost 1 silver and 10 coin. That's okay. Okay, let's go out then. Oh, and we're being attacked by everyone. Okay, we can target them. Perhaps Alistair, you can target this dude. And Shale can target them. There we go.
I shall do it.
Can do Mighty Blow.
This is annoying.
And Thunder Arms. There we go, can target them. I wonder what their abilities are. So they got Stone Heart, Pulverizing Blows, Precise Striking, Threaten, Taunt, Rock Mastery, and Stone Aura. Perhaps she can do this for now. Let's see. We can do Pommel Strike.
Let's get on with it.
There we go. And there's this dude left. Perhaps I can target them.
That's it. Prepare to be crushed.
Here we go. Can do Thunder Arms. Here we go.
As you wish.
I'm stunned. There we go. Is that all? It looks like it. Did they drop anything? There is a glamour charm here. There's elf root. There's also a chest here.
Alistair, what's this?
It's a sock?
It's a filthy sock. How did it find its way to my bedroll?
Maybe it likes you. Socks are sneaky like that. Anyway, it's not mine.
It has your name stitched on it.
Oh, part of Templar training back at the Chantry, the men were always getting their socks mixed up. Anyway, sorry about that. I'll take it from you right now. One of my socks is feeling a little damp anyway. A change would be nice.
You're going to put it on? It's filthy.
And dry. We're not exactly traveling in the lap of luxury here.
What hideous habits you've picked up.
So she just found her sock like that. His sock like that. There's chicken here, but we can't interact with it. Anything else here, perhaps? So it looks like they're doing blood magic of some sorts based on the altar that was in that house. There's a death fruit here. An ox. Another chicken. Chicken there. There's a book here though. A death of a Templar. Let's see. The dry, dusty earth swallows up salty drops that splatters its surface. A tiny insect pauses, sensing the vibrations, and scurries off, leaving behind its invisible enemy. As the drops fall, the dark circle merge together, expressing a mirror to their creator. The primal emotions of bloodlust and sorrow blend into a lethal cocktail that breaks the strongest of men. The jurisdiction of strength must be left to the spirit, not arm nor chest. Only the wisest turn to his inner sanctuary, or to partition the mind from an all-consuming madness. Seductive voices whispering promise of glory, weighting down the weaker path of the flesh, bringing a death far worse than that of a hot lead or steel. These blank, hollow promises will echo the unfathomable internally. Living comfortably amongst material possessions, it is easy to misunderstand the true meaning of uncontrollable hate, failing to understand the power of fighting against pure, unfaltering beliefs, against foes that listen only to their soul. Uncontrollable hate influenced and thus removed from innocence. The scar is permanent and eternal. The rain now red feeds the depth owned for actions past, seeking further into the earth as the mind draws lower. What was it that drew himself to this situation? The mind ebbs and parts to a lingering memory of true innocence. He entered born as a newborn enters the world, unknowing of both the horrors and light of the Maker that will save him. The sound of metal sliding along ladder comes from above him. From the second he was born to his soon-to-be dying breath, his mind was processing and analyzing knowledge and experience. It is true that he thought he could be wise in his own eyes, but only the most humble recognizes that he knows very little. Biased speculation and all of false pretenses make way to the sound of the sweeping steel, and then finally his soul, as ready as his eyes dry from the final understanding, enters his promise of its purest form. From Death of a Templar by Sir Andrew Knight of Andraste and Templar Archivist 9-4 Dragon. That's interesting to read. I wonder what it is referring to, though. I'm not quite sure. Can we go here? Oh, it just leads to the same point. Never mind. Let's go here then.
I've never
Ooh, there's a
heard
mage
of any
there.
village out this way. Is this place even on a proper map?
Here we go. Let's target the mage. And we can do Mighty Blow.
Yes.
It says it's a cultist, though. I wonder what that is about. We can do Shield Bash. There we go. Perhaps we also can do Shield Pummel.
It doesn't know I'm composed of solid rock.
Here we go. Did you hear what Shield said? There we go. We got the mage. We can target them. There we go. We can do Thunder Arms.
Well, I suppose that could have been worse.
There we go.
It
Can
is begun.
Loot hit. Loot them. A journeyman slow rune. And loot this. There we go. Get
It is
this
begun.
elf root. Let's see. So it looks like we have to go that way. Okay, there's a wooden crate here though with a deep mushroom. Ah, the more cult is up there. Do we have to go there? Because I wanted to just look around here a bit first, if anything.
As you say.
We can get this. We can just attack this cultist for now. Here we go. Let's target them and we can do Mighty Blow. There we go. And Thunder Arms. There we go. Let's go here for now. And there's a book here.
Very well.
The Avars. Let's see what that is about. So it says, drifting across the frostback in ancient times, the Alamari tribesmen split into 3 groups. One settled in the Ferelden Valley, one was pushed into the Kakari Wilds, and the last returned to the mountains. Modern Fereldans bear little resemblance to their Alamari ancestors, and the Chasian remember few of their traditions, but the Avars have changed little throughout the ages. Like the Chasen, the Avars are not a united people. Each tribe fends for itself and is beholden only to its fame. They still follow their own gods, Korf, the mountain father, Hekon, winter's breath, and the Lady of the Skies, as well as dozens of animal gods never named to outsiders. Nothing lasts in the mountains. Wind and rain eventually eat away the strongest holds. Valleys that were arable one generations are locked in year-round ice the next. Game is constantly on the move. Even among themselves, the Afar make no absolute promises. They wed by a tradition in which the groom struggles to untie a tightly knotted rope, while the bridge signs a hymn to one of the gods. However many knots he has undone by the time her song ends is the number of years she was spent with him. Lowlanders often forget that there is no such thing as a permanent alliance in the Frostpacks. From Ferelden folklore and history by Chantry's sister Patrine, Chantry's scholar. So it looks like there are 2 or 3 different tribes actually here. Looks like we can go in here as well. There's a chest here with a mage's eye, elf flight arrow, and even leather boots, which are a gift, and a locket. There we go. Anything else here perhaps? There's a chest. Can open it up with a silver chalice. And a chest here. Oh, and a corpse. Here we go. Commander's helm. And let's get this. The armor and clothing left on his dismembered man. I couldn't read that in time.
I shall do it.
Indicate that he was from Redcliffe, one of all Eamon's knights. Ooh, so he actually reached this place. But was murdered by the people here? Let's get out of here then. Let's see what is about here. There is some death fruit here that we can get. And here. There we go. What's this exactly? It's just an exit? Or it leads to the world? A map? Okay. Never mind then. Let's go up here. There we go. Doesn't look like they dropped anything. Can go up here. There's another cultist up there, it looks like. Yeah. Here we go. We can attack them. Can attack them. Alistair, you can attack this dude. Same with Shale, you can attack him. There we go.
Shall be done.
Can do pummel. And perhaps mighty blow. There we go. And then there's only the archer left.
So perhaps this place is not so abandoned after all.
And the Sunder arms. There we go. Let's see if they dropped anything. They did. Money and more money. There's some death fruit up here. And up here as well. Can get that. And here's elf fruit. There we go. And it looks like we can go inside as well.
We are blessed beyond measure. We are chosen by the holy and beloved to be her guardians. This sacred duty is given to us alone. Rejoice, my brethren, and prepare your hearts to receive her. Lift up your voices and despair not, for she will raise her faithful servants to glory when her... Ah, welcome. I heard we had a visitor wandering about the village. I trust you've enjoyed your time in Haven so far?
You killed the Knights of Redcliffe. I saw the bodies.
This, my brothers, is what happens when you let an outsider into the village. They have no respect for our privacy. She will tell others of us if we let her. Word will spread, and then what? You, stranger, do not understand our ways. You would bring war to Haven in your ignorance.
What about Brother Genitivi? What have you done to him?
We don't owe you any explanations for our actions. We have a sacred duty. Failure to protect her would be a greater sin. all will be forgiven.
Oh, here we go. Let's get the mage first. There we go. And then Shale. You can get them. We can do that for now. We can do Mighty Blow. Ooh, I'm stunned.
Now we go into battle.
Can do Thunder Arms. There we go. Can attack them. And do Pummel. There we go.
End their pathetic little existences.
And we can do Thunder Arms. There we go. And that's it. I think. Yeah. He's got a health poultice and a cultist medallion. Did the others drop anything? This
As
one
you
did.
say.
A lesser eye salve. There's a brick wall here, it looks like. Anything else around here, perhaps? Let's see. There's an inscribed chest with Ring of Faith and a small silver bar, which is a gift. And a chest here. Let's get this with a helmet. Let's see what the other side is about with the brick wall. Oh, here we go. Secret door. There's a chest there. And Brother Genitivi. Is he dead?
Who are you? They've sent you to finish it.
I am Amethyst. I'm here to help you.
You don't know how glad I am to see someone who isn't from this village. The leg's not doing so well, and I can't feel my foot.
Win, can you help?
I can set the leg and ease some of the pain, but he'll need a lot of rest in order to heal.
I don't have time to rest now. I'm so close. The urn is just up that mountain.
How do you know?
My research led me to Haven, and I have heard the villagers talking. I know the urn is here. Haven lies in the shadow of the mountain that holds the urn. There is an old temple there built to protect it. The door is always locked, but I know what the key is. Eirik wears a medallion that opens the temple door. I've seen what he does with it.
This medallion?
Yes, that is your key. Take me to the mountainside, and I will show you.
Are you sure you can make the journey?
It is not that far, and will you let me lean on you? For the urn, any pain is worth enduring.
Could you answer some questions for me first?
All right. What is on your mind?
Do you know about the knights who were sent to look for you?
Yes, of course. How could I forget? Eirik said they were ambushed, some killed, a few brought back to Haven to be questioned. He was so self-righteous about it, so smug. He seemed pleased that he had tortured and murdered these men.
Isolde sent the knights to find you when they all fell ill.
I see. She must have been desperate. She couldn't have known she was sending them to their deaths. Let's just talk about something else now, shall we?
Haven. It's a little odd, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be.
Why does Haven have revered fathers?
I do not know. When the chantry was established, it was decided that only female priests would ever be ordained. It is possible that the villagers, the disciples of Andraste, predate the chantry and so have no knowledge of the chantry's rules.
What do you know about Haven and its people?
They call themselves the disciples of Andraste, and they are very, very devoted. One could say fanatically so. They must be here to protect the urn, but they speak of Andraste as though she were still alive.
They must be talking about the urn.
I thought so at first, but I'm not so sure anymore. Was there something else you wanted to discuss?
What were the villagers doing with you?
They seemed intent on finding out personal information about me, where I grew up, things like that.
They were planning to place a fake Genititvi in Denerim.
How do you know?
There was an imposter Waylon at your house.
An imposter? What happened to the real Waylon?
I'm sorry, but he's dead.
Oh, poor Waylon. I should never have dragged you into this. Make us take you into his hands, my boy.
Waylon died protecting your research.
He believed in me, even when I lost faith in myself. I will honor his memory. Was there something else you wanted to say?
Let's see if there
All
were any
right.
other questions.
What is on your mind?
The ashes will cure all Eamon, won't they?
I certainly hope the ashes will save him. The legends speak of their miraculous powers. There are many stories of pilgrims being healed, the blind seeing, and the lame dancing in joy. Perhaps it is Andraste that does this. Perhaps it is belief itself. By believing the ashes are magical, you make them so.
Suppose that's possible.
Anyway, that can be discussed once we actually have the ashes, and the Arl is better.
That's enough talk for now, I think.
So run along and get that medallion then.
Is this the medallion we're talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
that is your key.
We did
Take me
this
to the
already.
mountainside and I will show you.
Okay, let's leave now then.
Good. Help me up here. I'll try not to slow us down.
I hope he's okay. Ooh, so we are in the ruined temple.
Here we are. Give me the medallion, and let's see if I remember. Yes, you see, it can be manipulated, just like this. And there. A key to open the way.
How did you know how to do that?
There are very few keys like this left in the world, but I have seen some. When you find the right combination, it just feels right. It is hard to explain. Now, let's see if we can open this door. There should be a place to insert this.
Ooh.
Oh, what I would give to have seen this hall in all its splendor, as it was meant to be. Still, sweep away the ice and the snow, and traces of beauty remain.
We can't afford to linger.
I'm sorry, what? I was a little distracted, I apologize. These carvings were created just after Andraste's death, and they may reveal things about her life that we do not yet know. I think I need more time to study these statues and carvings.
You want to stay here? Is it safe?
I could not keep up with you with my injuries. I should be safe. I don't think there are any villagers here. Go. I will be all right. Perhaps my destiny was only to lead you to the Anne.
Is there anything else I need to know about the temple?
It was designed to protect the Anne from those who would steal it or do harm to it, namely the Tevinter Imperium.
What sort of dangers are we talking about here?
I'm not sure. The legends were never very specific on that point. Only the faithful shall lay eyes on the sacred ashes. Death and misfortune await the unbeliever. The Maker's gaze has fallen on Andraste's final resting place. He weeps for his beloved, and his wrath at her betrayers endures.
The Maker? The Maker is here?
That is what the legend says, and the Maker may indeed watch this place. Read between the lines, however, and you'll understand that it is merely a simple truth draped in hyperbole and metaphor. After all, no one wants to hear Willie toiled for many a year to perfect the curious mechanisms that would send a sharpened spike up the arse of the unwary intruder.
Traps then.
I think my decision to stay here was the best one, don't you?
Definitely. I'll be back soon.
I'll be right here if you need me. Now I need something to write on.
Our codex updated. So we have Brother Ferdinand Genitivi. As it is the duty of all true sons of the Chantry to make the chant heard from every corner of the world, I made it my mission to find as many corners of the world as possible. The Maker can hardly accept us to do one without the other. Excerpt from In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genitivi. Brother Genitivi is one of the Chantry's most well-known scholars, primarily on the basis of the stories he has published, which many of his competitors dismiss as fanciful, of his travels across the length and breadth of Thedas. His travels and rather too curious nature led him to a study of folklore, which gave him the notion that he could track down the most debated of all artifacts, the urn of sacred ashes. He announced that he had found what appeared to be the trail of the urn. He left in the legends of the regions through which it had passed from Mimraphus on its way into hiding. And he appears to have been right. The final resting place of Andraste lay at the summit of a remote mountain. So this is the temple, the ruined temple of where Andraste may be at. I think I'll leave this episode here for now. Perhaps we could talk more later with Brother Genitivi, see if he has any more answers for us, or if we have any more questions for him, and we can look around the temple for a bit and see where the urn may be. So see you guys then. Bye.